Hey, so today's practice is a Hatha yoga for stress relief. So we're going to be working particularly on using the breath and opening out the body to release tension and to create space. So you can begin coming to a child's pose. So really allowing your knees to come a little wider, your big toes to come together. Arms are out in front, and then if it's comfortable, the head can just drop down into your mat. Now you're really going to be making choices throughout the practice of what feels best for you. So if that's arms active or arms relaxed with the elbows down, you can experiment, see what works for you. And then seeing if you can really start to establish that rhythm with your breath. So beginning with a nice slow inhale through the nose, and then balancing that out with a slow exhale. Again, inhaling slowly through the nose and exhaling out through the nose. And then just doing this 5 more rounds. So inhaling nice and slow. And exhale. Inhaling. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Really allowing the breath to move into the back of the body, letting the weight of the hips be heavy. And then from here, you can start to slowly come up to your hands and knees. If the knees were a little sensitive, you could always place some sort of blanket under the knees. Fingers are spreading nice and wide here, and we're going to, on the inhale, arch through the spine, gaze a little forward, and then on the exhale, rounding through the spine, dropping the head down. Inhaling as you open, and exhale to round. And for me, one of the really great ways to use Hatha yoga to release stress is to tune as much as you can that focus in towards the breath. So you might start to do that once you're comfortable with the movement. If you can just make a few movements back and forth, allowing that movement to be linked with your breath. Doing this one more time, back and forth. And then coming back to a neutral position. So we're going to come from here to sitting. If you're always bringing one leg in front, inviting you to bring the opposite leg in front for your cross-leg position. And then we're going to reach the arms a little out to the side. Inhale, both arms come up and over the head. And then exhale, bringing your right hand down and left arm reaches to the right side. Inhaling, coming back through the center, lengthening up again through both arms. Exhale, left arm down, right arm to the left. And then just doing this a few times from side to side. So every time you come through the center, you can really use that inhale to lengthen through the spine. Exhaling to the side. And just doing this a couple more times to each side. And then the next time we start to reach to the right, we're going to pause here. So keeping the neck nice and long, keeping your left hip grounding here. And then inhale, come back through the center, lengthen. And exhale to the opposite side. Inhale from here, come back through the center. And then exhaling from here to lower the arms slowly back down again. Now we're going to come from here back to our hands and knees. Tucking this time the toes under, and inhale, starting to lift your hips slowly up and back for a downward dog. If the legs feel a little tight here, you could lift the heels a little more, maybe experiment with bending a bit through the knees. Allowing back of the neck to lengthen, allowing the spine to also be nice and long. And staying here for 3 more breaths. So if it's comfortable, you can be drawing the weight a little bit more back towards your legs. And then inhaling slowly, walking the feet forward to the front. Feet are going to be about hip distance apart. We're holding the opposite elbows, folding forward here, relaxing through the head, relaxing the neck, and slowly starting to rock a little bit from side to side. Again, allowing the breath to move nice and slow. So setting yourself up with a nice slow inhale through the nose. And then balancing that out again with your slow exhale. We'll stay here 2 more breaths. And you can really feel free to bend the knees as much as you need here. And then coming slowly back to the middle, releasing the arms down. We'll spin the toes a little out and slowly sinking down here. If the heels were to pop up, you could place something under the heel, so some sort of cushion. And then if it's comfortable, fingers can be a little forward, and we're just rocking a little from side to side. If the hips don't want to be this low, you could have the hips higher and kind of doing the same thing. So just getting some fluidity here through the hips. Staying here 1 more breath, just moving back and forth. And then you can come back slowly to the middle, releasing the hips down. And from here, just reaching the legs out in front. Now we're going to bend our right leg and step the right foot over the left. So right foot can walk a little to the left side. Left leg can be nice and long here. And if you've got that space, you can really allow the fingertips to reach a little out to the side, dropping down to your mat. And that will help also sink the shoulders down And create a little bit more space here as you move the head from side to side. Coming slowly from here back to the middle. And you're keeping the left fingertips on the ground. Right arm reaches over to the left side. Breathing into the right side of your torso here. Option if you like to close the eyes, if that helps connect a little bit more towards your body, sensations and the breath. And then inhaling, coming back through the center, uncrossing the legs and changing sides. So left leg is bending, left foot steps over to the right. Just rock the hips a little, so getting comfortable here in your seat. Fingertips reach out to the side, and we'll again just make a few slow movements with the head. So nice thing here is you can really explore, where that tension feels perhaps a little bit more in the neck. Feel quite different for all of us, so be interesting to just notice how that feels for you. Might again choose to close the eyes here. Slowly from here, bring the head back to the middle. Right fingertips stay down, left arm lifts. Left arm leaning a little to the right side. And closing the eyes or softening your gaze here. Staying here, one more breath. And then inhaling from here, slowly coming up, uncrossing the legs. And then from here, you can come all the way down onto the back. Feet are about mat distance apart, knees in towards each other. Hands resting here on the belly. And then you can just softly close the eyes. So tuning back in towards your breath, letting the body be nice and heavy. You might be letting the belly expand out towards the hands on your inhale. And then drawing the belly slightly back on your exhale. And we'll just stay here for 1 minute. If it's comfortable, you can stay with the legs like this. If you prefer, you could always outstretch the legs. And again, the sort of deeper you can make the breath, the slower you can make the breath, the more you can kind of find that deep relaxation. So staying here for 1 more breath. And then you can gently, one by one, bring the knees into your chest, making some slow circles with the knees. And then changing the direction of the circles. And from here, knees can drop over to one side. You can roll onto that side. And coming slowly up to a seated position. So thanks for joining me in this practice. I hope you enjoyed it. Curious to hear how you got on. If you'd like to be practicing more often yoga from home, do check out the free yoga at home guide I've got with various tips and short practices that you can do to really have that moment for yourself to tune into your body and breath. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you next time.